So my name is Addison Dobias, and I am a senior lecturer at the University of Texas at Austin in the Stan Richards School of Advertising and PR. I've been here for over 2 decades and have had the wonderful opportunity to get to know and work with thousands of students during that time. I actually was a graduate of the same program quite a bit longer ago than that, and had the idea of starting a specialized program in the area of media back then. And as luck would have it, I found out how circular life is when an old instructor of mine asked me to start that program when I came to teach here. And that has evolved into a program we call Texas Media, which is internationally ranked and actually ranked in the US as the #1 place to study digital media. So yeah, that's what I do.
They either didn't see them in the RFP or they intentionally just chose not to address them. So if you address campaign scope,
It's going to go far away. And it didn't take me long to figure out where I wanted to go, because my freshman year in my intro to advertising class, my professor introduced me to a company called Leo Burnett, and I drank the Kool-Aid really fast. I basically stalked them as a company for about 4 years, bothered the recruiters, and when I was a senior, was lucky enough to be able to interview with them and got the job. So I got to move to Chicago, which is probably my first love city outside of Austin. So it was a very different world than what I had experienced here. And in fact, my grandmother told me that I was going to be killed by gangsters, and was really nervous for me. So I can tell you some stories real quick. First of all, let me point out that when I went to school, being from Austin and going to UT, we didn't live away from home. So moving from Austin to Chicago wasn't just a move out of the city, it was the move out of my home. So it was like what a lot of students experience now when they're 18, but I didn't experience that until I was 21. So huge change from living with mom and dad to living by myself and in Chicago. Actually, I can tell you it was a huge culture shock. Actually, lucky enough, I had a roommate that was also from Texas, but we had barely known each other for about 3 weeks before we decided to be roommates. And would do crazy things like silly Texans would do in the city, So we would walk down the street and see something a little frightening and have to turn around and go the other way, someone sitting in their car putting on a mask. There was that for sure. So, there are a lot of awesome opportunities I had right off the bat. So getting a job at Leo Burnett was incredibly difficult. They hire a very small portion of the people that they interview. And so just flying up there was an uncomfortable experience, because it really was a grueling full day of interviewing, all the way up with top executives. So that was incredibly unnerving. Once I got the job, the thing about Leo that was so special, and the reason why they were so particular in hiring, is that they have a training program, but it's not slow paced at all. They basically throw you in. So within the first 2 weeks of my job, I was buying media for Procter & Gamble. Several $100,000 worth of media dollars were my responsibility within 2 weeks of graduation and starting there. So I worked on many multinational companies like McDonald's and Pillsbury, Kraft, Keebler, United Airlines. And every time, every project brought something new, meant I had to learn really fast. So that was a big discomfort. Again, a good discomfort. So I got to meet a couple of the really big icons in the world of marketing and advertising back in the day, kind of the guys who started a lot of the big movements that are still around now that have led to things like social media and native advertising. I met all those folks. And over the years, I've met many people, and I guess, again, full circle now, most of my students are now the folks out there who I would say my current students are aspiring to be.
So be very straightforward here. You probably are going to spend 15 minutes on it most, and you'll be done. Where you'll spend your time is here in your situation analysis.
As I said, I feel like life is really interesting because it's so cyclical, and I feel like if you pay attention to things when you're younger, they come back in different ways as you move through your life.